Hi there. Today I'm going to tie a nymph, and this is not going to be your ordinary nymph. This is going to be one where I do some pretty neat tricks with the body. First of all, it's important to have some tying thread along the hook shank here. I'm using a curved nymph hook here, and this is size 10. And this is just to make it easier for all of you to see what I'm doing. So basically now I have all of this. This is going to be a bit more difficult one, and if you need the material list and stuff like that, simply click under here or go to the end of the video. You will find a full material list or a link to the full material list. First of all, I'm going to use some of these. These are goose bites. I'm going to use them in brown. We're going to use the 4 pairs of these, but I'm going to take 2 first for the tails. It's a very nice material for a lot of different stuff, but especially for these types of flies here. So I'm going to tie these in so they're pointing backwards with their tip backwards, and these are going to be the tails of this stonefly nymph. And of course adjust them so they have the right length according to what hook size you're using. But this nymph is not going to be ideal for smaller sizes. This is a larger stonefly nymph, because we're gonna do the body in a certain way that requires that this has some size in order to at least to use the material I'm using here in this video, like so. And there you have, you know, a nice divided tail. Cut off these like that, and then I'm gonna take some vinyl rib, this material, and I'm gonna take it in, use some in brown and in green. And the order of which you tie this down is fairly important, because otherwise you will end up not having the right stuff on top and the right stuff on the bottom. You can change that, I think, but you take the green one and then you tie it down on the side here, and it's important that it's on the side. And the easiest way to do that is simply to take it and then put it on the thread like so, because then you can place it exactly. I'm going to show you a bit more from above so you can see a bit better. Like so, because I can place it exactly where I want it when I have it doubled on the tying thread. So I'm gonna have mine placed not there, you know, because and you need the longer part of this to be pointing backwards. If you're having trouble, you can simply just pull it one whole time through like so. And then I'm gonna have it right there. I think I need to adjust this like so. So now it's completely on the side, and I'm gonna leave the other end here out in the front, because we will need that as well. Then I'm gonna take the brown one, if I can locate it. Here it was, and I'm gonna tie it opposite, so it's gonna be on the other side of this. This is actually a way of tying that was invented by a very cool Norwegian woman called Toril Kulbo. She was pretty awesome. I hope she's still pretty awesome, but I haven't heard, you know, haven't seen any fly tying stuff from her in a long time. So basically now I make sure that this is on the sides of the fly, because I need to have the fly broad, not high. So it's important that when you tie this down, you make sure it is on each side of the hook here, like so, as you go along up the hook. As I said, this requires a bit of careful maneuvering and stuff like that, this pattern, but the end result is truly awesome. It looks really nice. Like that. Ah, crap. I'm gonna pull them down when I get up here, like so. And then I do not want to go all the way up to the top of this. I just want it to be, I need to have room for the carapace. I need to do it a bit further down like this. So, and then I will continue up here along the hook shank. around 1/3 you will want to have for the carapace part. This is teasing me a bit. I'm sorry about that. So like so, you have them tied down on the sides here, like this. And now what you do is you cut these off. Leave them. And in order to give this fly the correct taper, the correct taper on the body, we need to add a bit more stuff. And if you don't want to mess around with adding extra weight or something like that, you can simply just pull the vinyl rib back. But I want to add a bit more weight, so I'm gonna take some non-lead wire or lead wire, whatever you have, and then I'm gonna tie this on the sides as well to give this more bulk. You can use tungsten sheets and stuff, or tungsten sheet or something like that as well. But this is going to make my fly broader. The profile is going to be broader here. But I do not want this all the way down. So actually I'm going to take a fairly cheap scissor and then I'm going to cut it off like so. So that it's only maybe one half of the body that is broader, and 1/2 of this body that is only from where I tied down the vinyl rib. And of course, since this is gonna have to be uniform, I'm gonna do exactly the same on the other side. So again, I'm gonna take some of this. And I tripled it. This is 0.15, but depending on the size and stuff like that, you might want to double or triple or depending on the fly. So as I said, this is not the easiest fly in the world, but it really is a shiner. It looks quite good. I'm gonna do that on my side as well, like that. Make sure to cut off at the same place as you did the other thing, on the other side. Like so. And now comes the fun part. So now I'm fairly pleased with the result. As you can see, it's broader up here than it is further down. And then I'm gonna make a whip finish, because now I need to do the neat trick with the I don't know what it's called in English. Knitting, I think. Knitting, yeah, probably knitting. So in order to do that, what you need to do is first you need to take the two different colors, and then you need to make an ordinary knot, you know, like that. And if you do it like I've done with the, let me just see how that looks. That is not exactly how I want it to be. Why is that? I'm gonna do it on the underside. So you take these two and you make an ordinary knot, like this. And then you have the start of the fly. Then, because I want the brown to be on top here, I take the green one and then I make a loop and make it go just under here. And then I take the brown one over and into the green loop, like so. And then what this does is actually making the start of the body looks very much like the carapace of the fly. So I get the brown, and then again I take always the green one, the olive one, and put it underneath the hook shank. So I get kind of like a loop here, and then I take the brown one and put it over the hook into the loop. Over the hook into the loop. And you will see for sure if you're doing this properly. Then I take all of this and make sure that everything is right back at the starting point. And again I take the green one under to make the loop, and the brown one over into the loop. And then simply rinse and repeat this process all the way up here. Make sure that everything goes where it's supposed to, and that you do not have too many gaps. Again, under the green one under, and then the brown one over and into the loop. The green one under, the brown one over and into the loop. The green one under, the brown one over and into the loop. Yeah, as I said, this can be a bit, this is a bit of a, you know, it's a process that you have to do. Then the green one under the hook over the brown, under the hook over the brown. So you have the loop, and then the brown over the green and into the loop. And now I'm at that point where I have the junction, so my body is going to be thicker now. Over the hook and into the loop. This will make the, as you can see, this will make the brown come out on top and the green one underneath, which kind of make a very, very cool effect. And on the sides you will have, on the sides of this you will have a very, very cool pattern of this. So green one underneath the hook and over and above the brown, then the brown over the green into the loop, like so. And now it's I'm at the place where this gets broader. So green under, brown over. It's a nice technique, and you can use this for a ton of different materials and a ton of different styles of flies. But what this really does is, as soon as you master this is going to be fairly more easy. The progression of this is going to be easier. The more times you've done this, the faster it will go. I'm a bit rusty. I just made one practice attempt, and probably otherwise this has been, I don't know, at least 15 years since I attempted, since I've made a fly like this. But it's a cool technique, and it's something that I really I've wanted to show off for some time. And I think I can do one last time here, then over and into the loop, like so. Like that. Then I'm gonna attach my thread once more, like that. And I see I need to adjust the, like that. And once you've done this, simply cut off the thread here, and then make sure that this is very fast and very securely. Then pull forward on this and then tie this down, because we'll not need this anymore. We only needed this for the segmented body part, like that. Cut away that stuff, and then on to building the rest of the fly. First of all, as you can see, brown on top with the nice and shiny green ones, and then the green ones underneath. Really looks awesome. Like that. Good. So what I'm doing now is I need some dubbing. I'm going to take some brown dubbing for this, because I need to make a small bulge here. In order to have the next of that's going to imitate the legs of this, the next of the goose bats, to have something to be located on, in order for them not to you know, be too erratic, looking, to not sticking out too erratic from the hook here. So basically I take two of these again, and again I tie them down so they're pointing backwards with the tips backwards. This should not be as long as the body, maybe preferably half the length of the body, something like that. And as you can see now, I've not tied in enough dubbing because this sticks out too erratically. So I'm just going to leave it, take a bit more dubbing. Some nice natural dubbing with some coarser hairs and stuff like that is ideal for this. And that's a good part of this. It's if you know what you're doing, if you know the tricks, you can easily make this fly look very well. Simply just apply some dubbing here and there, and that will go a long way in order to accomplish making this fly look great. This is something you should attempt if you want to try something that is fun to tie and is a bit more realistic than a lot of other stuff. Like so. There you have them sticking out in the right ankle, in the ankle I preferred. So basically just tie these down, cut them off like that. And then I need a feather, and you can use a partridge feather, or this is some whiting Brahma, which is very nice feathers, especially suited for the purpose I am here. And these are going to be the legs of this nymph. So I take one of these feathers out here, strip all the crap from the lower part, and because this is going to be turned last, then it's the first thing I need to tie on here. So basically I prepare it by having pulled, not off, but so they point backwards. And then I tie this so the underside of the feather, see this is the top side, the side that is broad, that is the most vivid in color. I tie it so the underside of this feather is pointing upwards, because then when I turn this over, it will be correctly placed. That's kind of like an important detail. Like so. So when I turn this over, the feathers will be correctly placed and look a lot like legs. Cut off that, I don't need that anymore. And we're going to take some pheasant tail. Just a bundle of ordinary plain pheasant tail. You can use colored ones for this. That would be nice, maybe a nice olive or a nice brown or something like that. And these are very nice for making the thorax, the wing case. So basically, I'm going to tie these down again in the same place as I did with the hackle here. Cut off all these stumps. I don't need those. Like that. And then I'm going to do a bit of dubbing, just to cover up all the mess I've made and the tying thread and stuff like that. Again, here, be careful not to make this too bulky, because that is not going to look good. So basically just apply small amounts of dubbing at a time in order to cover your tracks and cover your tying thread like so. And now, before I go all the way up to the eye, I want to add another pair of the legs, and I want to add some feelers out in front of the fly as well. So basically, I take. Is that the correct place? Yeah, that is the correct place. I'm going to take a bit more dubbing here. Now my tying thread is annoying me. It seems to have come underneath itself, and that can get quite annoying. Like so. And then I take, well, actually we need 4 now. 4 of these goose bites. Just gonna put them down there. I'm gonna take 2, 1 on each side to be legs. Like that. If it should, ideally you should have 3 of these as legs, but I'm not gonna do that. That's gonna be too much trouble, and it's gonna be too crowded up here. And now what it looks like from above is this. If I can hold this out to the side, you can see the legs here coming out. I'm going to cut off this one and that one. We don't need those anymore. And to top it all off, I'm going to give this eyes, and I'm going to use bead chain eyes for this. Yeah, as I said, this is a bit more difficult than a lot of the other stuff I've done, but it really is a cool fly. And oh, before I do that, I need, of course, my second pair of these. These are going to be pointing forward as kind of like mouthpieces, like that. One there, and then the other should go in the other direction. As you can see it's pointing forward, and this has to be not as long as the other one, as the two others, like so. So they are. I hope you can see that. Again, cutting off these. Like so. Then I'm going to take my bead chain eyes. I'm just messing around with the light here. I'm going to take my bead chain eyes, and I'm going to attach them where my tying thread is now, or maybe a bit further behind. Something like perhaps there, I think. I'm going to tie these down with cross turns of the thread. See, so you have the eyes on there now as well. Like so. And then simply just cover up all your tying points and stuff like that with some brown dubbing. Not too much again. Be sure not to use too much of this. Something like that. And make sure that the body here is even. And if you wanted, you could add some legs that has, you know, some bends in them and stuff like that, in order to make this look even more realistic than it is now. I just like these goose bites. They look fairly good and fairly easy to work with. Like that. And then you go to the other side of the eyes. Did I do this in the wrong order? Freaking hell, I did. Oh my god, what a rookie noob mistake. I think I can fix it. So I did this in the wrong order, and that's really annoying. But we can manage. So I take the feather here. And turn it to be the and then I take the pheasant to tie it down, and there you can see it from above. Cut off that. Cut off any of the hackle fibers that is not in line, that is not in the right place, without of course causing the two feelers out in front. My feelers here are a bit short, I think. They could have been a bit longer. Then I'm going to make my whip finish. And then the fly is done. Of course, you need to pull out some of the dubbing here underneath with your dubbing needle in order for this to make this look better. To make it look more alive and stuff like that. But you see here, there you have the segmented body, the eyes and the feelers, and on the underside you have a completely different color scheme. You have the dubbing in the eyes and the two feelers out in front. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. There were some mistakes along the way, but you know, Well, that's kind of part of the game, and yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it, and good luck on the water.